What's up everyone, welcome to Dangerville. If you've seen the news on how Jurassic World Rebirth is being claimed as potentially the scariest entry in this series, grounded in realism and gut-wrenching edge-of-your-seat action, and you're all hot and bothered about that, this other dinosaur movie, Primitive War, coming out this year should be the cherry on top for you. If you've been around the channel for a while now, you might remember me talking about Primitive War. It's a gnarly good dinosaur book. Now, the film for Primitive War has just released its first full trailer, and as a fan of the book, dinosaurs and war films, I'm more than impressed by this film that it's doing so much with such a small budget. Thanks to Luke, the film's director. Here's the trailer for you guys if you haven't seen it so far, and stay tuned for my breakdown and some special goodies from the director afterwards. You can skip to that if you've already seen the trailer, or you can watch it again here. And did I mention this is a rated R dinosaur movie? You wanted something like this, let's go.
RT Vulture looking for SFC Baker.
Yeah, you found them.
You order, Sarge.
We all made some poor life choices, Baker. The old man would love to discuss the consequences with you.
3 days ago, I lost my Green Berets. There is something going on in that valley.
RT Vulture.
Reconnaissance is your business. And I need you all to find them for me.
What is it? Track. Is it our guys? No. Animal. Something big. Telling you guys, there's monsters out here.
So if you aren't familiar with Primitive War's story, I'll briefly mention parts from the book to help fill in the gaps for those of you who haven't read it at all. But I'm not going to go super in-depth with the lore here because I do want you guys to experience the book if you haven't. So I guess here's a slight spoiler warning. This adventure takes place during the Vietnam War and will follow a special forces group known as Vulture Squad. This group of badasses is deep in the jungle looking to rescue a lost group of Green Berets that were allegedly held captive. Little did they know there was something worse than humans out there. Dinosaurs had made it into the modern world. Now in the book, this is due to this real neat Indiana Jones style plot of, without spoiling too much, time warping technology. And as the squad and other humans in the valley slowly learn that they are not the apex killers in this jungle, we see them all tested not just physically, but mentally. Each member must go primal to survive, and this leads to some of the most violently descriptive dinosaur attacks and human warfare I can remember. The intro of the book starts with detailing one of the Green Berets being hunted by a dinosaur, and man, it's some skin-crawling imagery that the author Ethan wrote. It's pure real horror. Just a feeling no living creature really ever wants to be a part of, human or not. Primitive War's story is legit a fantasy a lot of us played out in our minds with our toys back in the day when we'd get our dinosaurs and our military guys. What happens when modern humans come face to face with dinosaurs with no preparation, only the skills they have and the weapons they carry? And dare I say, the trailer actually captures the vibe of the book way better than I could have ever thought. From the get-go, they're nailing the feel of a big blockbuster movie by using real-world locations. If you don't got a big budget, just take your gear into the wild and have at it, man. It's hard to make something that's real and beautiful look bad. And the reason why this trailer comes across looking like a much higher budget film is due to the great use of these locations and real props and settings. All I'm gonna say here is that the crew should just be super proud of this amazing cinematography. Great choice in music as well for the trailer. Too many times these days, these trailer makers throw in random music that has nothing to do with what's going on, and this fits what's going on the screen perfectly, I think, for a trailer. Luke told me that the team made this film out of pure passion, and you could really see that here. As the trailer pushes forward, we get to see how they also took a lot of pride in ensuring the soldiers and their weaponry and the overall military feel of this thing lands home. Now you can go and find some parts in the trailer where the CGI being used specifically for the choppers or the one shot of the napalm strike, that this is actually just an indie film. They aren't the best CGI shots you'll ever see, but considering they made this for a tiny fraction of the big Hollywood blockbusters, it's still impressive, if you know anything about filmmaking. And it seems like they blended enough real-world footage with the CGI to make it to where the audience is mostly going to be kept in-world, and not taken to a place mentally to where they can't overlook the CGI, not being up to par with a $300 million mega movie. At the end of the day, this visually remains impressive, although this cleanness and crispness of the footage makes me feel like I'm in a modern setting, not 1968, but I think that mostly falls on the fact we haven't seen a movie in this setting for like decades, it seems, and just shows how far camera technology has come. Now let's talk about the dinosaurs. Yeah, they didn't hold back on them in the trailer. We got a nice little tease of the Quetzalcoatlus. The big flying guy is becoming famous these days, I'd say. And in the books, this flying giant has some of the craziest kills you could ever imagine, and I'm curious to know if they go through with showing these horrible attacks on the humans. Brace yourself if they do. And it's not just the humans, other animals aren't safe either. We get to see the remains of what's probably an Asian elephant in the trailer. No animal in that region could kill a full-grown adult elephant, so it can only be one thing: dinos. One shot from the trailer that really stood out to me was this one right here. Look how creepy these glowing eyes are. If you've ever been in the dark with a flashlight and you're looking around and you see the glowing balls of terror staring back at you, you know the emotions these guys would be facing seeing this. Especially after they found their buddy with his insides ripped out. Now I can't confirm this, but these eyes likely belong to the Deinonychus, a species of raptor that consistently terrorizes Vulture Squad in this story. The way how the book describes them running through the trees and climbing and just chasing the humans, it's really cool. And this next dinosaur, you know what that is, the Tyrant King. Which we get a couple glimpses of the Rex in the trailer. Cool note here as well, Ethan wanted the Rex to originally be super feathered, you can see that in the art for the book. But I guess since more discoveries have been made stating the Rex wasn't covered in thick chicken feathers, the movie team is ditching the feathers altogether, so far as I can see at least. I think we got Rex lips though, paleo people should love that. No, this next bit's kind of funny. This dinosaur here has been confirmed by Luke to be the Spinosaurus, which is awesome. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm bummed out that the Caprosuchus were cut from the story. Caprosuchus were long-legged crocodile-like beasts that were apex predators both in water and on land. In the book for Primitive War, they have one of the coolest scenes where they attack Vulture Squad in the river, and then they chase one of the squad members through the forest, and well, his fate's rough. It's like a zombie attack. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Spinosaurus. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs, just like a lot of us. But maybe it's the Jurassic Park effect where I'm like, woo, Spinosaurus again. Or maybe I'm being a little gatekeepery with the book here, but I feel like this is the one miss for me from the trailer. And I feel like other readers of the book might feel the same there. But I know why they did this. One dinosaur is a lot easier and cheaper to animate than many, and the Spinosaurus is a household name. If you can find someone not in the ancient animal field of work who knows what a Caprosuchus is, you let me know. But in my eyes, I still feel like this is a little bit of a lost opportunity to show crocodilians hunting in a way we really haven't seen before. I mean, sure, there's been plenty of crocodile movies, but not any to where they're running through a forest ripping a guy to shreds while he's still alive. I still love the Spinosaurus and it looks fantastic, side by side with Rebirth. Not too shabby for a low-budget indie film, I'd say. But everyone, please don't get this twisted. These films don't need to be competitors. They can thrive together. A world with two dark, serious, and scary dinosaur films coming out in the same year? What? We're lucky. So I'm gonna say, don't think of Primitive War as the Jurassic World killer. Obviously, it's not gonna compare to Rebirth in the box office. But if we could help this movie do well enough to get a sequel and inspire more dinosaur films of this standard, then that's what we should try and do, I think. If, of course, the movie is actually as good as the trailer's trying to show here. I'm a big fan of the book, the trailer really impressed me, but look, we still have to watch the full movie before I get fully hyped. But it's looking really promising, and I saved the best dinosaur for last. The villains of this Primitive War story in a sense, the Utah Raptors, led by one called Cyclops, for obvious reasons. Let me tell you everyone, Utah Raptor not getting any sort of time in the limelight so far in another movie is a crime. This dinosaur in Primitive War makes the big one from Jurassic Park seem like a little punk. If I could describe the Utah raptors in the books, I would say they are like the raptors from Jurassic Park 3 in terms of their cunning and odd human-like nature about them, but twice the size and way more angry. Thanks to the director Luke again, we got a bit of concept art for you of the Utah raptors. Now, I believe this is actually going to be one of the first times a mainstream film has put feathers on a dinosaur or a group of dinosaurs that are going to be one of the main focal points of the story, and I think it looks great. Some people are going to find something to not like about their appearance, but in my eyes, this is a great way to show feathered raptors as true dangers and throw as little people off as possible when they come on screen. Overall, the CGI on the raptors, the Rex, and all the dinosaurs we get to see is pretty dang good for a movie with likely less than a tenth of the budget of Jurassic World Rebirth. And they did all this while still managing to pay some decently well-known actors, so well done there. Now, I could end up being very wrong, but I think Primitive War has a real shot at being the Godzilla -1 of dinosaur films. And that just kind of makes me smile, cause I love the book, and I love how so far it's being portrayed in a form that, in my opinion, matches the novel with love and passion. Where so many other studios and filmmakers right now are actively trying to turn others' IPs into their own half-baked stories that no one really likes. Still a little upset about the Crocs though, man, but at least it's the Spinosaurus and not robots or something. Now, I don't have a release date yet for Primitive War, everyone, but from my conversations with the director, he makes it seem like they're trying to be respectful to Jurassic World Rebirth and obviously not shoot themselves in the foot by releasing near the same time. So my guess is that Primitive War is gonna drop either early summer, like May or June, or not till this fall. I'd be happy with either one, to be honest. As either a warm-up to Rebirth or as a nice follow-up. Either way, I'll be there to watch it and cover it, and I hope you guys join me and subscribe. This has been Jacob. I'll see ya in the next one.